In the annals of organized crime, certain figures stand out not just for their ruthlessness, but for the sheer chaos they leave in their wake. One such individual was Vincent Mad Dog Coll, an Irish-American gangster whose brief but violent career in Prohibition-era New York City was marked by betrayals, shootouts, and a chilling disregard for human life. Among his many notorious acts, one incident on July 28, 1931, cemented his brutal reputation and earned him the infamous moniker a Mad Dog, a botched kidnapping attempt that tragically resulted in the death of a 5-year-old child. This is the story of that day, the man behind the violence, and the devastating consequences of his actions. Vincent Coll was born in Gweedore, County Donegal, Ireland, in 1908, and immigrated to the United States as a young child. Growing up in the rough-and-tumble neighborhoods of New York City, he quickly fell into a life of crime. By his early 20s, he had become a formidable enforcer for Dutch Schultz, one of the city's most powerful bootleggers. However, Coll's ambition and volatile temper soon led to a violent split with Schultz, igniting a brutal gang war that terrorized the streets of New York. Coll was known for his indiscriminate use of violence, often employing machine guns in broad daylight, a tactic that shocked even the hardened criminals of the era. His methods were so extreme that he earned the nickname Mad Dog from New York City Mayor Jimmy Walker, a label that would forever define his legacy. On July 28, 1931, Coll and his gang embarked on a kidnapping attempt that would have unforeseen and tragic consequences. Their target was Joey Rao, a lieutenant in Dutch Schultz's organization, whom Coll intended to abduct for ransom. As Rao was leaving a social club in East Harlem, Coll's men opened fire from a passing car, attempting to force Rao into their vehicle. However, the chaotic scene unfolded on a crowded street, filled with innocent bystanders, including children playing. In the ensuing shootout, bullets flew indiscriminately. 5-year-old Michael Vangali, who was sitting on a stoop nearby, was struck and killed. 3 other children and a woman were also wounded. The Harlem Baby Massacre, as it became known, ignited public outrage and intensified the manhunt for Coll. The accidental killing of a child, a stark departure from the unwritten rules of the underworld, turned public opinion decisively against him and even alienated many within the criminal fraternity. The death of Michael Vangali galvanized law enforcement. Police launched an intensive manhunt for Vincent Coll, who became one of the most wanted men in New York City. The public, horrified by the senseless killing of a child, demanded justice. Coll was eventually apprehended and brought to trial for Vangali's murder. However, in a shocking turn of events, he was acquitted. The prosecution's case was hampered by a lack of credible witnesses, as many were too terrified to testify against Coll, and the defense successfully argued that the fatal bullet could not be definitively traced to Coll's gun. This acquittal, however, did little to change public perception or his Mad Dog reputation. It only underscored the pervasive fear that Coll commanded and the difficulties authorities faced in bringing him to justice. Despite his acquittal, Vincent Coll's violent lifestyle ensured his downfall. His war with Dutch Schultz continued, and he made powerful enemies on all sides. On February 8, 1932, less than a year after the Harlem Baby Massacre, Coll was ambushed and gunned down in a telephone booth in a drugstore in Chelsea, Manhattan. He was just 23 years old. His death was a brutal end to a brutal life, a fitting conclusion for a man who lived by the gun and died by it. The legacy of Vincent Mad Dog Coll is one of unbridled violence and a chilling example of how personal vendettas within organized crime could spill over and claim innocent lives. The Harlem Baby Massacre remains a tragic footnote in the history of American crime, a stark reminder of the collateral damage inflicted by gang warfare and the devastating impact it had on ordinary communities. Coll's story serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the destructive path of unchecked ambition and the ultimate futility of a life consumed by violence.